start. Okay, we'll get started. All right, this is Santaquin City Planning Commission meeting. It's Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. Welcome, everyone. Let's get started. For those of us in the room tonight, would anyone like to offer an invocation or an inspirational thought to get us started?
Give you an idea, and here's Summit Ridge Parkway. And zoom back in, and it's these two homes right here. So before I jump into it, and just a reminder, with the state code changes last year, plat amendments are now approved by the Planning Commission. They used to go to the City Council. Now the Planning Commission is Land Use Authority. So your job tonight is to make sure that the plat is meeting the requirements of the zone. So very basic. It's just making sure they're meeting the lot frontage and square footage requirements. So they are moving the lot line 6 feet to the south, 6 to 7 feet to the south, and it is in the PC zone, but it needs to follow the R10 requirements. The reason for that is the PC zone was created through a development agreement, which has expired a few years ago. And we have in our code, it says that if a development agreement expires and it was supposed to be residential, it defaults to the R10 zone. So that's what you're going to be looking at tonight, is making sure it meets the R10 zone. So the frontage requirement on a corner lot in the R10 zone is 95 feet for both sides, and then 80 feet for an interior lot. And then the square footage is 10,000 square feet. And so you can see in the table there, the frontage they're providing is 116 along the Twilight Drive and 142 feet along Sunset Drive for lot 63. 64 is right around 97 feet. And then they also are meeting the area requirements. They're about the 10,000 square feet. And so I'll go ahead, and this is the plat. And so the lot line used to be right here. It just goes straight across like this. So they're just moving it a couple feet to the south. And so it's meeting all the requirements of the R10 zone. It's meeting, they followed all the steps that are required in state code for plat amendments. So those are the findings that we have. And so the staff recommendation, because it is meeting all the code requirements, is for approval. And I am here to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
I feel like there's somebody that you really should have consulted in this decision, because it affects my life too. We're neighbors. I'm just kidding. Do you already have a fence up though?
We have a wall up, so.
No, you're fine. I could have asked you this after the meeting.
There was a giant hill between the two houses.
So if you can come up and state your name.
Thanks.
I'm Seth Johnson. I'm the property owner of one of these properties. There was a significant slope between the two places, and we agreed that we would build the wall if we got to keep the property that the wall retained.
Essentially,
Okay.
you'll just scoot it right back.
Yeah.
So the Pro Guards know about it?
Yes.
And you guys are working
they've
it out?
signed
Okay.
and filed with us, so
Okay.
yes, they know about it.
Okay.
So we're required to have a petition, and if the property owners don't sign it, we have to have a public hearing
Okay.
and notify both owners and 500 feet around the property. But both
Perfect.
of them have signed that petition. So
I figured you did, but I didn't know if we had to see
Yeah,
that.
I
I'm
brought
like,
a copy
hey.
if you'd like to see it.
No, that's
We'll
perfect.
hear about it otherwise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was the only question I had because it wasn't noted.
Yeah.
Both property owners are in agreement. That's good.
that's a good point. I should put that in my staff memo next
Yeah.
time, that both owners. So I'll make sure I do that next time.
Okay.
Thanks. Otherwise, the requirements of the R10 zone are really simple, right? And you've covered them there. We're looking at frontage and square footage, and both lots meet those. So,
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Sorry, I
there's-
forgot one additional thing. As you see, we put all red lines addressed. If you had questions about that, it's very basic. We just needed addresses added. So it's very simple. So there's nothing really
Okay.
of concern to staff about those red lines.
Cool. Easy enough.
Perfect.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about? It's easy. Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I will make the motion. Can I make a motion to approve the Sunset Trails at Summit Ridge First Amendment with the following conditions, that all red lines be addressed?
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion by Commissioner Romero. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Waite. Let's vote. Commissioner Tolman?
Yes.
Commissioner Waite?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood? Yes. Commissioner Nixon?
Yes.
Commissioner Romero?
Yes.
Commissioner Moak?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. The plat amendment is approved and it's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so just to follow up really quick, we'll send you those red lines with the addresses, and then we'll give you the contact information to our engineering department, and you'll work with them on recording the plat.
And that's where we send the Mylar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. Thanks, everyone. Okay, let's move on to agenda item number 2. This one's going to sound very familiar. We've got another plat amendment in the Santaquin Ridge subdivision, Plat G.
so we have 2 plat amendments. Usually we only have 1 or 2 a year, so we
Right.
have 2 in 1 planning commission. This one's very similar to the other one. It's in the R10 zone. Again, I'll show you really quick where it's located. Zoom out. It's these 2 lots right here on the corner of 900 East and 400 South. And so right here on the corner, if you go down 900 East, this is where the new development is going in, right next to the interchange. All those new homes right here. And you have Big O Tire. So you come up 900 East, drive down to 400 South. And it is these 2 lots right here. So this is very basic like the other one. They need to meet those requirements. They have another corner lot, making sure that corner lot has 90 feet of frontage, which it does. And then the interior lot needs 80 feet, which they have the 135. So on the 400 South side, they have exactly 95 feet of frontage. So they meet the requirement. And then both lots will also meet the 10,000 square foot. So again, as a reminder, Planning Commission's land use authority. And not much else to discuss with this one. So if you have any questions for me, I can answer them.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, any discussion on this one? No red lines attached to this application?
Yeah, there was no red lines.
Okay.
They have a current shed or garage. Is that going to be inflicting upon the 3-foot or 5-foot setbacks on the side?
So that is actually why they are doing it. So back in the garage the building permit was finalized back in 2017. So about 2 years before I started. And it was not caught. They were supposed to move the property line then. It didn't move. And so the shed is actually partially on lot 2 and lot 1. And it wasn't caught by the building department or the planning department when that happened, because there was some transition going on at that time. And so this is to clean it up. So by them moving it, they're moving it about 20 feet. And so they should have, I believe it was a 5-foot setback. And so it is fire rated. And so they can actually be within 3 feet of the property line, and it'll be 5 feet away. So this is to clean up what happened there, because I think it was during the transition of when Dennis and Jason were doing the transition, and so it was something that was missed, and we're cleaning up now. So.
Okay.
Okay, good question.
I just
All right.
don't want that to be
Yeah,
a problem in the
for sure.
future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if anyone notice anything else we need to talk about? And if not, would anyone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I will. I'll make the motion to approve the Santaquin Ridge Plat G First Amendment.
Okay, thanks. We have a motion by Commissioner Nixon. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Moak. Let's vote. Commissioner Moak,
Yes.
Commissioner Romero,
Yes.
Commissioner Nixon,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood, yes. Commissioner Waite,
Yes.
Commissioner Tolman.
Yes.
Okay, that plat amendment is also approved and it's also unanimous. Okay, that wraps up the main part of the agenda tonight, so we'll move on to other business. We need to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was on July 23rd. Do we need to discuss any concerns with those minutes? And if not, would anyone like to make a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 23rd, 2024 meeting.
Okay, we've got a motion by Commissioner Tolman. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Romero. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? All right, those minutes are approved unanimously. Staff, anything else we need to talk about tonight?
So I have several items. The first one, most important one, we want to recognize Trevor. So last week, if you can see the sign, he got Volunteer of the Month, and it's well deserved. He's been on the Planning Commission. Has it been 9?
Oh, thanks.
9-10 years, but he is an amazing chair. I personally, with working in 5 different jurisdictions, I've worked with many planning commission chairs, and Trevor is the best that I have worked with. You handle it really well, so it's well deserved.
I'll pay you later.
And
Congrats,
so
Trevor.
we just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
And then the next item we do have a new planner. It's Aspen Stevenson. She started last Monday, and I'll give her a moment to let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm really excited to be here and get to know more about Santaquin. I'm originally from Riverton, but I feel like Utah County is still home, so.
Cool. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
Do you have any questions for her? Put her on the spot. And so she did graduate from USU in geography, and she's got a minor in landscape architecture. So she's going to be doing a lot of our reviewing landscaping and helping with city parks and landscaping and different things like that.
Cool.
With the degree she has. And,
Yeah, that's the fun stuff.
Yep. It was like, give her some of the fun things to do. But we're really excited, and it's going to be really nice too, because now that we're fully staffed in the planning department, once Aspen gets up to speed on all the planning stuff, we can start working on some of these code amendments that we've been wanting to work on for a long time, and other things that been kind of sitting on the wayside. We've been mainly just trying to keep up with all the state code changes, and that's a lot of the code amendments you've been reviewing, but we're hoping we can now be more proactive and kind of clean up the code where there's contradictions, and kind of have a discussion with the Planning Commission and start working on those and see what Planning Commission wants to move forward with. So there's that. I just wanted to give you an update because you guys are involved. You give a recommendation to the City Council. I was able to turn in our moderate income housing report a couple weeks ago. That's why we had several meetings that were canceled. They required a lot of additional information that took me weeks to find and get the numbers on. But we did turn that in. We're waiting to see if we're in compliance. If we aren't, they give us like 90 days to get into compliance. So we're waiting to hear back from that. So I just wanted to update you on that. And it's the new reporting year, so we're going to be bringing forth in the next couple of months the new moderate income housing plan for this year for the 5 strategies. If the Planning Commission would like, I can send you pretty much the a la carte menu that we can choose from if you'd like. And if we're looking for any suggestions, if we want to have a discussion, we can also do a discussion before we bring that to the Planning Commission, or we can just come up with the proposals and see what you think. And we're hoping to do that a little bit sooner, so if there's something that we don't like, we have time to find something else to do.
Yeah,
So-
please send out the list before
Yeah, that'd be
that
great.
shows up on the agenda, so we have some time to digest it.
Yeah.
Again,
Well, definitely,
Yeah.
I'll send that out this week, and so we'll probably have that on the agenda in the next probably 2 months, sometime in the next 2 months.
Okay.
So we have that, and then the next Planning Commission. There's a chance it can be canceled. Right now, there is a possibility of somebody coming and asking for an infill reduction. They're looking at doing a 2-lot subdivision. They asked if instead of going how we've done it in the past, where they have a full set of plans like you saw at the Bellow Corner, and you approve the infill reduction and then the preliminary plan, if they can bring forth a plan before they do all the construction drawings, because it could be $10,000-$15,000, and make sure that that's something that the Planning Commission will be willing to do. So we told them we'd still need a survey, and whatever the Planning Commission, they'll still have to do a drawing, and whatever the Planning Commission approves, we will stick them. They will have to follow that exactly to how you approve it, because it's not going to be a full set of drawings. So we might have that coming forth. And just a reminder, Planning Commission does have discretion on infill reduction. In the code, it says that the Planning Commission may approve infill reduction. So that may gives the Planning Commission discretion to say yes or no. And so we do have that coming forth. And then we do have, this won't be on the next agenda, but in September, we will have 2 code amendments. One of them is a subdivision code amendment. We're updating, the state updated their subdivision code again this year, so we're updating ours. And so I'll give you more details as that gets a little closer. We are updating our plat amendment, our boundary line agreements, and our lot line adjustment code also. And so we'll bring that to the Planning Commission. And then we also have one more code amendment related to the state. The state passed a code saying that decks can encroach into the setback a certain amount of feet, and so much square footage can encroach into the setback, the rear setback. And so we'll bring that forward. There is some discussion we can have on how we interpret a few things, and then there's other things that we have to do, that state requirement. So, but there are a few things that we can have a discussion on and see where we want to go with that. So those are some of the code amendments that'll be coming up in the next month and a half. And do you have any questions for me? That's all I have.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We'll
Yeah.
look forward to it.
I just have one thing I want to say, and then a question for you.
Yeah.
So the one thing I want to say is, anybody watching this, please call your state representatives and let them know how you feel about these changes that they're forcing on us. Please.
Yes.
Yes.
I really don't agree with them. If you agree with them, that's fine. But please call your state representative and let them know what's going on, because it's causing some issues. And then my question is, as I drive around town on my bicycle, I see things a lot more differently than when I'm in my car, because you just do. Lots of code infractions are happening here and there and everywhere. Does the city do anything about them?
So right now we are complaint driven. And so if we receive complaints, if it's business related or land use related, then the planning department starts. We don't do code enforcement, but we'll notify them and let them know. And then it'll go to the police department. And then the police handle a lot of the junk complaints, parking on the street, and fire hazard like high weeds, things like that. And so we don't have a code enforcement officer right now, a full-time code enforcement officer that goes around and finds things. It's more complaint driven at this point.
So if there's
So complain.
if there's sheds that are built right on the property line they're not supposed to be, what's the landowner's recourse? Are they going to get a ticket? Are they going to get a lien against their property until they tear it down? Are they going to what happens?
So with that one, that is handled by the building department because it's a building infraction, and so I'm not 100% sure how they would handle that because I'm not so much involved in the building aspect. But I can tell you, we had somebody storing porta potties and cleaning porta potties in their backyard for their business, and I send them a letter telling them, that's something you can't do. That's doesn't meet the home occupation ordinance. And I worked with them, took them about a month, and they got the items off their property. If they didn't get the items off their property, I would have sent it over to the police department, and then they would have handled it by writing tickets and moving the code enforcement process forward.
Okay. All right. I'm not complaining. I'm just wondering. I just see some code infractions spreading more and more and more. And I'm wondering if by not letting people know, we are going to no longer have that code by default because there's going to be too many people that have those infractions.
That's I can bring that up.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I want.
Good discussion. Thanks.
Yep.
Anything else, commissioners, we need to talk about? All right, let's get out of here. Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:22.
Okay, we're adjourned at 7:22. Thanks.
Alrighty. Great. Those